Hey guys, it's Dakota Lewis. Today is June 26th, 2015, and I will be 1 year and 4 months in like a week or so. Um, Today I'm going to answer a question that I got from a friend on Facebook. Um, and she was asking about my first puberty um, and kind of thoughts. Um, So I guess I'm going to talk about my first puberty and kind of what's been going on with how long I've been on testosterone now. Um, the narrative of the trans experience for trans men um, kind of puts first puberty in a light of I already knew my body was different and I was expecting the other puberty and I was expecting certain changes to happen and they didn't. And that's not necessarily how it happened for me. Um, I think puberty is awkward for absolutely everyone. I don't think there's a single person out there that enjoyed their first puberty. Um, it's your body changes and things are happening that you don't know, and it's all around awkward. But with that said, I feel like there was a sort of disconnect that I didn't have a vocabulary for. Um, but once I started my first puberty, it was also when I discovered my sexuality, and I've known I was queer since I was 12 years old. And there's been a whole different transition, from thinking I was heteronormative to bi to gay to maybe bi to pan, and I'm queer. If yeah, um, and I also was really, really depressed. I still struggle with, having little small bouts of depression, for a couple of weeks or so. But there were years that I was very, very depressed. And I started self injuring when I was 12 years old until I was 16 years old. Because I had so much going on in my external life, and there was a hormone imbalance in my internal systems, to where my brain, I full heartedly believe that my brain is wired male, and because I didn't have testosterone in my system and I had a lot of estrogen, it just screwed me up, and I had very, very bad depression. I have been diagnosed as a bunch of different things, but doctors say things and money. um, but I struggled with suicidal ideation, and it was always because something didn't match up, and I always had this. The way I always kind of described it was like a tornado, and I'd start somewhere and I just keep going on it and going on it, and something just felt very, very wrong at all times, and it was always going like a little wheel of just something's wrong, something's wrong, something's off, something's not right. Um, and so I kind of punished myself, and I also enjoyed self injuring because I could control that pain. Um, Whereas I could never identify and control why I was feeling so bad. I could at least focus on my visible pain. I could focus on cleaning it up and watching it heal. And it was this is really a personal video now. Um, so yeah, that was how I knew something was wrong in my first puberty. And then once I started healing, I went into a hospital January 4th of 2012, I would believe, um, and I started focusing on myself and trying to get myself better and healed. I graduated high school at 16, or yeah, 16 years old, my junior year. Um, I was working at Kroger, and I chopped off all my hair to a very short pixie cut. Um, and I started dressing a lot more androgynously, and then I found, the terminology for genderqueer. Um, and so it's like once I got to that point, I started realizing and being able to put that discomfort into words. Um, but there wasn't really a point where I, you know, thought of myself. I knew I was a girl. I didn't have a problem with she pronouns and all that kind of stuff when I was that young. Um, so it's like I have an older brother, and I never really wondered why I was different from him. Yeah. And so now, once I discovered my identity and decided to medically transition, the second I started testosterone, that first couple weeks, I immediately have felt so much better since day one. Um, I still, like I said, I still have couple, month bouts of having, depression and lows, um, but it's manageable and nothing like how low I used to be. So I definitely have seen that change. Um, I all around just feel better. I feel more like a person, and so I haven't really minded going through a second puberty. It's still awkward. Um, I'm to the point now where it's kind of everything is slowed down. The first 9 months were absolutely crazy, and there was hair popping up everywhere, and I smelled bad all the time. And I went puberty and voice cracking, and it was tough. um, but now that I am what almost 16 months on testosterone, um, I'm just kind of enjoying to watch the changes continue to happen slowly. From I now have hair on my upper thighs, which has taken about a year, and my beard is coming in on the sides, and I already can grow a little bit naturally. And so I think it's more of every day I wake up and my body is more affirming, whereas when I went through my first puberty, every day my body became more and more foreign to me. Um, so it was kind of just like a really nice change. And I had a video from about a year and a half. I was 7 weeks on testosterone, I believe, talking about just looking in the mirror and seeing my body reflect how I've seen myself and how I continuously see myself more and more as the man I feel like I would have been had I been born cisgendered. So yeah, puberty, man, just freaking puberty.